What's up, guys? This is an exciting YouTube because I'm gonna be breaking down lessons that I've used from drug dealers, okay? Now, look, not all drug dealers are created equally. Inside of this YouTube, we're gonna unpack some lessons. These lessons all apply if you wanna build your business to 1 million, 10 million, or $100 million. All right, lesson number one. All the good help, all the good product comes from south of the border. Don't you know if you're in the construction business that you shouldn't be hiring help from here in America? People say we got a labor crisis. That's because nobody around here wants to work. We're soft as baby shit, full of a bunch of titled people that just want handouts. You know who people really want to work? People from Mexico, people from Colombia, people from El Salvador. Let me tell you something. These laborers, they're making $250, $300 cash money every single day. They work 6 days a week. They get paid. They take their money back across the border. Forget about Uncle Sam, skip a few steps. But look, in the roofing business, you never have to worry about finding the workers. All you have to do is worry about finding the jobs. And I think so many people out there in businesses and construction, like, man, I can't find the help. I can't find the workers. What the fuck are you doing? Going to the bar trying to hire your help? Those circle jerking fucks don't want to go to work. You need to go south of the border to find people to really partner up if you want to build a blue-collar millionaire empire. Number two, you gotta be willing to fight for your American dream. And your American dream is your territory, your real estate on the streets. And if you're in the business of doing roofs, then the best clients are the neighbors to the people right next to the roofs that you already do. And the thing about my type of roofing, it's like selling drugs because it spreads like crack when you're in a neighborhood. It's literally like you hear the roofs getting smacked around, tap, 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 tap. And then people are like, what's going on? What's going on? You're like, hey, do you know that these people aren't taking their money out of their bank account and their 401k? They're getting literally money from their insurance company paying to replace it. Oh shit, man, get up on my roof. See if I can get a check from the insurance company. Dude, it's crazy. And so what happens is it creates this crazy frenzy. It's like when there's blood in the water, sharks are going all over the place. That's what roofing salesmen are like after a storm. You're in one of these neighborhoods, you might have 20 people knock on your door. And so at every single time that you get a job, you get to put a yard sign in front of the house. You get to post up while you build the job. You get to do something called a build video, where we're able to actually target on Facebook and Instagram video ads, get 10x more referrals. Thing is it's all real estate to get more jobs. You talk about drug wars, the cartels fighting on each other for different territories of money. Those are like neighborhoods. And us roofers, we've been known to scrap. You know, there's been plenty of times where just recently in New Orleans, driving down the street, roofing salesman mad at me about some different things, ran up on me, wanted to fight. And it's like all's fair in love and war and getting your foot in the door. When you're in roofing and you're getting everybody paid for by the insurance company, it's just like the dope game. You gotta protect your street corners. Sometimes you gotta be willing to fight for the death. And you know, I'm not saying that you should go out there and fight on the streets or shoot roofing salesmen or do anything like that. But you could scare the shit out of them. You know, this is the third reason why the dope game is like roofing. You make the most money selling dope to rich people. Like seriously, rich people with drug problems are really a great business clientele to have. Usually they're gonna come back more repeatedly. They're gonna like give you less headache, less problems. And it's the same thing in the roofing business. It's funny how that works. You know, there's people out there that only want to smoke the best weed. I don't know any of those people in particular, but you know, people pay lots of big money. And these type of people are good customers to have. And I found that going into the richest neighborhoods, it all started when I tried to sell Eminem a roof. I went back to the same neighborhood and there wasn't even that many houses in that neighborhood. I was so obsessed to sell Eminem a roof. I was listening to his album every time I went in there, and I got the neighbor next door. And then I got the neighbor next door. I'll never forget when they let me on his roof. I kind of blew it when I ran around and told everybody that I was doing this job before I actually got the job. But it taught me that once you get going, that you make more money. These houses, I was making $10,000 and $20,000 commissions. I didn't have to do so much work. And so you make the most money selling roofs to rich people. And that's very much like the dope game. Let me peep you on some real game here, okay? Let's talk about real game. Let's talk about string a bell. I don't know if you ever watched The Wire, you know, where you actually have a Rico, you know, you got an Empire, you got lieutenants, you got all this different things going on. You're ordering hits, you know, I don't know if you ever watched any shows like this, but let me just make some analogies. If you're like a Stringer Bell type and you're building like an empire, like a $100 million roofing company, and let me tell you that all Stringer Bell needs to sell more dope is he needs more dope boys, man. They get them fresh, and it's so funny, off of the show, they'll have them 7 years old, 8 years old, running around, running their drugs around town. It's terrible. They're not raised, obviously. They don't have parents, you know, they shouldn't be doing that. But if you ever been to Baltimore, dude, let me tell you, there's zombies walking around. They'll jump right out in front of your car, half fucking high on heroin, and try to sell you a bottle of water for $1. But it can be convenient. You're not gonna say I had never bought one of those bottles of water. But what I can tell you is, if you wanna grow your roofing company, all you need is more roofing salespeople. And then you get into this problem. You gotta pay them commission. You gotta make sure that you fund their book of business. And a lot of times that's Stringer Bell's problem too. He's gotta fund them the drugs. He's gotta give them drugs up front. And if you're selling in insurance, you've got roofing salesmen, you gotta give commissions up front. That's what we call draw. And now, when a sales rep leaves overdrawn, man, it makes you wanna take them to the back of the shed, just like old Yeller, shoot them right in the back of the head, but you can't do that, okay? But what I can tell you is that managing draw is much like managing a dope boy paying you back. If they don't fear you, if they have no system, if there's no rules, there will be disorder, chaos, and there will be money missing. Because what do they say? There's no honor amongst thieves. I hate to say it, but roofing salesmen, especially you traveling gypsy type, you know, I'm gonna put you one step above. I'm not gonna call you a thief, that would be wrong. But let's just keep them honest, okay? Like in Stringer Bell's world, you got these guys, they work around as little 8-year-olds, and they work up to the dope boys who go and run it, and then you're actually running a corner. Then you run a profitable corner, maybe you get to the trap house, you can protect the stash, or maybe you're a lieutenant, you're out on the hit squad, you get promoted up through the ranks, and that's what you call turning your good salespeople into leaders. You gotta take your good dope boys, and you gotta turn them into leaders, into lieutenants. And leaders, they do a lot of different things. Of course, I call it the TRD. What's the TRD in roofing? They gotta be able to sell, build, collect. And if you're a dope boy, that might mean that you need to shoot, run fast from the cops and not snitch, and you gotta be willing to kill somebody and gotta be a good fighter. That's what I'd call sell, build, collect. Once you have this well-rounded skill set, I'd say the biggest challenge is then to teach it to others, to hold people accountable, and to truly carry the core values. Now, one of the core values of the dope game is don't snitch. And very similar here in the roofing business, it's like loose lips sink ships. And a lot of times you'll see, you know, some people that used to work with me on the internet, oh, Lee's full of shit. But that's what people are most afraid of, you know, since we actually have to follow rules and we can't go out and do the things that Stringer Bell does when people fall off track, that they're gonna go out there and defame them publicly. But the truth is you can't be worried about that bullshit. You only can be worried about one thing, and that is getting more dope boys, all right? And more people have to hear your story. They have to see the empire, see the stories of the dope boys' lives that you changed. I mean, how do you get more dope boys? Well, you go into the hood, you get loud thumping, like, you know, when I was in high school, I had 412s. I had 2,000 watt amps, and you know, that's the best, like an elk call, to call in like a nice trophy elk. That's how you call in the dope boys. Is you get them subwoofers going, and you get that Cadillac thumping and bumping, and you get that candy paint. Now look, roofers are not that much different, okay? We just jack up our trucks. Hell, go look at Dustin's master roof builder truck with all the neon lights and even lights on the ceiling. This is literally no different. You just get your jacked up trucks, and you know, next thing you know, everybody, goddamn, where's this guy making all this money? In the roof game, man. We get roofs paid for by the insurance company. It's like selling dope. It's so easy. It sells itself. Goddamn. And so, you know, the thing is you turn the good ones into leaders. You got to follow core values like don't snitch. And then it gets to the most important rule of the roof business that's from the dope business. And that is, you gotta get rid of the bad dope boys, okay? Look, if the dope boy goes out there and runs away with your stash, and maybe, you know, he's one of those whodunit motherfuckers that will steal your dope and help you look for it. You ever know one of those guys like that? Oh yeah, there's plenty of them roofing salesmen. They'll go off, sell a side job, take some cash from a customer. Hell, I got one right now. Millions of dollars in the air. It's like fucking shuffling job to actually get the real story. But truth is, when you find out this information, your standards are what you tolerate. And if you do not hold your core values, let's just say you let somebody that snitches a lot live. What does that say to your organization? Okay? Now, Stringer Bell doesn't do that, okay? Stringer Bell caps everybody that snitches on him, and there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And I'm not gonna be like intolerant, because my purpose in life is to help people build character, confidence, and freedom. But there's just so many people that don't wanna do the work, that have excuses. And I guess it's not their fault. They grew up in government indoctrination camps. They buy into all the bullshit on the news. Either way, look, when people don't get results, I call it the death of a salesman. A good salesman, I mean, the thing is that the way you keep them in a good spirit is you keep them moving, you keep them going. And you know, one day, like, they're on top of the world and they're out there selling. But if they're not entering leads, they're not getting to kitchen tables, if their book of business isn't growing, if they're not asking for help, showing up to meetings, then chances are they're stealing from you. It's so funny, I was sitting, my daughter, she's around, you know, these events, these management calls, the sales meeting calls. She hears the whole business the way I did. And you know, it's funny. You know, we talk to her all the time about taking over the family business. She laughs. She goes, oh, I know how all this works, talking about salesmen. She goes, first they do great, then they're full of it all, and then they steal from you. That's my daughter. She's got it all figured out. And the truth is like, a lot of people are afraid to hold their core values, let somebody go. And even when somebody moves into leadership, they want to be paid more, they don't want to be held accountable, maybe they don't want to do what needs to be done. And I'd say sometimes the hardest thing to do is to let that person go. And if you take those three things, you need more salespeople, turn the good salespeople into leaders, and fire the ones that are bad, that steal from you, that are cancer. See, the thing about cancer, let me explain to you, when you leave a bad person in your organization, even if you know they're thinking about leaving, think about the damage that they do while they're thinking about leaving, while they have these kind of drama and riffs that get played out unnecessarily. It turns little issues into bigger issues, and it can really kind of like corrode your entire company. And a lot of times, if you have some toxicity and you're going into negative places, there's no way that you can get better until you remove the cancer from the company. And so you just look at these dope boys, and I mean, obviously, if they're out there stealing money from you or snitching on them, it's pretty clear and cut and day. It's not always clear and cut and day as it is in the roofing business. And so that just brings me to the last and most important thing. It's like, dude, your network is your net worth. And whether it come from suppliers or people that you sell to, or different ways to get your name out there through social media, there's all kinds of new things. Your network is your net worth. And if you need help hiring salespeople, you need help taking the good salespeople, making them leaders. And I know you snowflake entitled guys that get too kumbaya with your guys have a hard time firing them. You have a hard time holding them accountable. Look, I've always struggled with the same thing. You should join our Skydiamonds Elite Mastermind. Now, don't take this lightly. This is very traumatic when I lose a top sales guy, or when a sales guy, you know, steals from us, or when a guy that we've promoted to leadership doesn't step into the right role. It's very tough. It's probably the hardest day of my life when a good person with a lot of potential leaves my company. The death of a salesman has literally felt like a tragic moment in my life. So just wanted to make this lighthearted YouTube. And if you want some help growing your roofing company, we guarantee 25 jobs. And it's not just roofing companies, all general contracting companies will help you add a solar division. Everyone who does what we tell them to do doubles sales, and we're very selective who we work with. It's limited by market, and it's called the Skydiamonds Elite. It's all my private coaching clients. Look, we're gonna leave a link in the comments below at tothemooncontractor.com. But hey, comment below what you think about all this. Tell me if you think I'm on point, if you think these lessons from the dope business apply to roofing, and subscribe for some more fun content from our page.